Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Objects in mythology always have interesting backstories, from cloaks to shields to totems and more. One thing that mythology loves to talk about is gems. Gemstones, diamonds, and more are all full of power and special things they bestow upon those who carry or wear them. To this day, many modern people believe in the power of crystals and stones. It's no wonder why we have a strange fascination with these objects. So today, we're talking about the 10 most powerful gems in mythology. But before we get started, why not become an archivist today by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future gems. If you end up enjoying this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and in the comments section, tell us what gem you would create and what superpowers you would bestow upon it. Most powerful gem in mythology. That's me, Gem!
Number 10. Five-colored jewel. From Japanese mythology, we find a five-colored jewel from a dragon's neck. Now, if someone tells me that they have a gem from a dragon's neck, I certainly expect that it's going to be just as colorful as if it came from a unicorn. Maybe it's just me, but either of those creatures needs to have extraordinary everything. In the myth, Kaguya Hime, a shining princess of supple bamboo, has many suitors. She started making up impossible tasks for them, agreeing to marry one who brought her a specific item. One of them was to bring her a colored jewel from a dragon's neck. Since then, this gem is an always too far, never quite approachable gem in folklore and represents in many ways the hardships of impossible love. Number 9. Mermaid Tears. According to a medieval legend, a mermaid was caught in a storm and attempted to approach a ship. She had fallen in love with a captain that was watching her from afar. She used her ability to calm the winds and waves, which was strictly forbidden by Neptune, and save the man's life. Neptune found out about it and exiled her, condemning her for eternity, and was never allowed to swim to the surface again. According to the legend, her tears still wash up on the shore as sea glass, powerful reminders of the pain of lost love. Number 8. Syamantaka. In Hindu mythology, the Syamantaka is a jewel that was supposed to be blessed with magical powers. It came from the sun god, who would wear it around his neck. The powers of the jewel were mostly those of protection. The person who wore it would never suffer droughts, floods, earthquakes, famines, and would live only in abundance and health. According to the legend, it would even produce gold for its keeper every single day, around 170 pounds of it. The gem is also said to be responsible for giving the sun god his good looks. Number 7. Dragonite. Dragonite is a mythical stone, also known as the Dragon Stone. In mythology, the story says that the stone is taken from the skull of a deceased dragon. Because taking it from a live dragon is not the most likely situation. The stone wasn't particularly stunning, just a gray glossy stone. Just like how a clam creates a pearl over time, the dragon stone was created from the body, mana, and intelligence of a dragon. The stone would allow a person to communicate telepathically and would form strong bonds with the people who carried them for a long time. Number 6. Cintamani. Cintamani is a stone in Hindu and Buddhist tradition. Some say it's similar to the Western philosopher's stone. It's sometimes depicted as a pearl, and several forms of the Buddha are shown carrying or holding it. This and other legends around the stone make it so that it has an intrinsic connection with the gods, especially Vishnu, one of Hinduism's main gods, and Ganesha, the Hindu remover of obstacles. It is known as a fabulous jewel, sometimes in the possession of the Naga king, which translates to serpent king, or on the forehead of the Makara, a Hindu sea creature which protects gates and portals. It bestows prosperity, translates to as on wishes jewel in Chinese, and the Cintamani mountainous region of Bali was even named after the stone. Number 5. Hope Diamond. Up until now, we've only seen gems that improve people's lives, if only we just had them. But what about the gems that you just don't want in your life? The ones that curse you, bring you misfortune and tragedy. Not as fun, right? Nobody wants to steal this, unless I guess you're really trying to mess with someone. This Hope Diamond was said to do all kinds of things in Hindu tradition, but some think the stories were only made up to create mystery and appeal around the gem. This way, the public would see more value and interest in it. Legends say that the original Hope Diamond was stolen from the eye of a sculpted goddess. Since the 1600s, the gem has had at least 22 different owners, including the likes of King Louis XIV, XV, XVI, Marie Antoinette, and King George IV. Today, the gem sits peacefully in the Smithsonian Institution and is valued and insured for $250 million. Number 4. Flaming Pearl. Also known as the wish-granting pearl in Chinese mythology, this pearl is shown and represented under the chin of dragons or even in their claws, both places where you won't necessarily reach unless that dragon has been slain. Why would you want it in the first place? Well, how badly do you want wisdom, prosperity, power, or immortality? That's what I thought. It's also associated with the moon and thunder, sometimes thought of as a metaphor for perfection and enlightenment, and is also one of the 8 auspicious treasures. Number 3. Batrachite. Fact and fiction dance on that blurry line in the story of this gem. Also known as toadstone, this gem was supposedly found in the head of a toad. It worked as an antidote to poison. Apparently, they were actually fossilized teeth of ray-finned fish from prehistoric eras. In appearance, they were said to be perfect in form and set into rings and amulets during the Middle Ages all the way up until the 18th century. Since the toad has poison glands on its skin, the association between jewels set inside the head of toads and the antidote factor was made, and were later used as a treatment for epilepsy. According to folklore, the stone had to be removed from a live old toad. Ribbit. Number 2. Tide jewels. These jewels from Japanese mythology are magical gems used to control the tides. In Japanese history texts, a myth is mentioned about the ocean god who used the jewels to conquer Korea. These gems aren't specific to Japanese tales, also making an appearance in Indonesian and Hindu mythology as well. Now, tide jewels may seem tame. You might be thinking you'd much prefer a gem that allows you to be immortal or one that gives you a bunch of gold every day. However, think about this. How good is gold or immortality if the tides have taken away everyone else and all the things you can spend your gold on? Didn't think about that, did you? Number 1. Gem of Kukulkan. The only Mayan gem on our list today, Kukulcan was a snake god worshipped by people of the Yucatan Peninsula of what is now Mexico. Kukulcan was a very powerful god, especially if you consider his context in the peninsula. Kukulcan had brought to the world fire, earth, air, and water. He had this gem, and with it he could control only the air. Why couldn't he control all 4? It's hard to say. However, control of the air isn't too bad, because how else are we supposed to breathe? Ooh, this could be a great weapon now that I think about it. Thanks for watching. What other powerful gems do you know about, and which one of these gems would you most like to have? Let us know in the comments section. For more interesting videos about various things mythological, be sure to subscribe, click the notifications bell, give this video gem a like, and share it around with others.